All right, family. Black Power. We black again. Black is the truth hour with General Sara. Soon said he kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com online marketplace. Right now, we got 15% off everything in the store. Come on over there. Get you something nice. Get all the products you've been eyeing and you really want to get them. And you got it's the ample time right now to get it for a discount. That's right, 15% off with the classic and Jurassic DVD lectures, T-shirts and hoodies for the family. We got for the kings and the queens. We got the African medallions or talismans, and you understand what I'm saying, for your family. We got the necklaces, the earrings. We got the bracelets. We got the finger rings. West Africa, East Africa. We got what you need. We got the holistic herbal tonics and remedies for the family, immunity booster, black seed, the holy oil, living better. We got a few more, the men's tonic. Do we got some sour sop? We might got that too. Check on King Seti. We got a few tonics. You see what I'm saying? That can get you together. Home decor accessories for every room in the house, living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom. We got you. When you're looking for something exquisite to beautify the house, turning your African home to the African temple that you always wanted, no better place to go than kingseti.com. That's right. Class is now in session. GeneralSeti.com, Seti University, over 900 video presentations, so much too raw from YouTube. Seti with the master teachers, all religions, all ancient civilization. We got the political, black power, political science and economics. You feel me? Right now, we are highlighting the co-origins of the COVID plague too. Blood wars. We got the homicidal science, depopulation, death code exposed. You understand the making of the white man, the Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal. You already know this is just, this is all, and these are just 3 out of 900. So we got a very powerful lineup, at King Seti, Seti University, GeneralSeti.com. Of course, Patreon, we keep it popping on Patreon, BPC, making noise, we never calm. You see exclusive live streams, too hot to handle for YouTube. Just dropped the gatekeepers of the occult world, where we did Baron Samedi, Anubis, Hamdale, Janus, even we did Sharon, the ferryman. You see what I'm saying? Very powerful, because these are the some of the gatekeepers of all these, these worlds in which we transverse. You understand, when we move from one plane to the next. And so we have to understand how this process takes place and who are the gatekeepers. So when we get ready to invoke, you understand, we invoking the right person, and we know what the passwords is when we get to that gate, because you got to have the password. That's right. And so, family, I'll make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, General Seti, Sara, Suten Seti, King Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing crazy, because I will ban your ass. Now, we in the house tonight. We dealing with the Seraphim, African archangels, or the fiery serpent, and that's what they are. The concept of the Seraphim come out of the Nile Valley. That's where it comes from. It's highly, venerated in Judaism and in Christianity. Now, in Christianity, the Seraphim is the highest ranking order of the angels. Okay? They the highest ranking order of the angels. I believe they even over the archangels. You see what I'm saying? Of Michael, of Gabriel, Uriel, and what's the other one? Michael, Gabriel, Uriel. What's the other one? I don't know. But I used to know all 4. Let me see. I don't like that. Because if you go in the different, but they got Raphael. Raphael, that's the fourth one. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. Now you already know that L at the end. You already know that's the chief Canaanite god. And so you know when you start going and breaking that down, you can see, you know, that there's chambers inside the chambers, and we can go off into L, you know, in the Kemetic, you know, he was Osiris, you know, and so, but when you go off into the Roman, he was Saturn. You see, he was Saturn. And when you saw it, when they depicted El in the Canaanite, and they had statues, they showed him with the Atef crown with the two ostrich feathers, and then they show El also with the crown of Upper Egypt. You see, they the one that Osiris has on his head, and so you know, majority of what they call Canaanite ain't nothing but another version of the ancient Egyptian religion. That's all that it is, and we're not gonna get away from that. We're not gonna get away from that. You see what I'm saying? We're not gonna get away from that, and that's why you got to study the ancient Egyptian science, you know, as the foundation, and also when I speak of the ancient Egyptian, I also speak of the Kushite. You know, you got to go to Kush too now. Okay, let me get in here. Which one is that? Okay. Let me go and take that out of there. Okay, here it is. Well, this is one. This is one. Okay, here go the bingo. Now, as I went over last night, a lot of people just don't even know that, you know, when you start talking to, you know, about the dragon or the serpent. Let me go on and tap in on this one. Let me tap in on this one. Let me tap in on this one. Okay. Let me tap in on this one. Okay. That it. Bingo. Yeah, even the term angel, El. El is, you know, was the chief deity. You know what I'm saying? He was their chief deity. When you start talking about that Judaic Christian, even when you start talking about the you know the supposed the prophesized name of the Messiah was Emmanuel. You see, was Emmanuel. And so, you know, again, that El, that deity, which is nothing but Osiris, as we can do. So when we talking about the Seraphim, okay, now let me drop that down. Seraphim, like I said, was the highest ranking order, the highest ranking order of the angels. And when you deal with this term seraphim, is rooted in the word seraph. You know, Seraph. That is the singular. You see, and it is a type. When you talk about a seraph, it's a type of a celestial or heavenly being. You see, originated. Now they say in ancient Judaism. Okay, the term plays a role in subsequent Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Okay, now tradition places seraphim in the highest rank in Christian theology and the fifth rank of 10 in the Jewish hierarchy. Okay, okay, so in Judaism they're ranked as fifth. Now the term means fiery serpent. Now we got to understand where they're getting this from, because they didn't took so much out of ancient Egypt. You see, again, the term translated seraph is fiery serpent. Now, most time when they depict them, they're not going to show, they show basically human form. They don't show, because they don't want y'all to know that they worshiping these serpents and that they worshiping the dragon. I went over yesterday how, that Yahweh was depicted as the dragon, and that, with smoke coming from out of his nostrils. I went over that. Matter of fact, I can drop that down just to give y'all, a little taste of what we went over yesterday. Now, and I'll jump right back into the in dealing with the Seraphim, because it's all in that same understanding anyway. It's all in that same understanding anyway. So let me okay, here we go. Let me drop it on in here. Nah. So when you see, you got Yahweh, he's also depicted as the dragon. And we know this by going to Deuteronomy 32, verse 22. Okay, and when you go in, like I say, in this particular, I search for this. And if you try to go in the King James Version, you're not going to find it. And so you see the Hebrew on the left, and then you see the translation on the right. Now, the term that they use, and I meant to get it yesterday, which it denotes having a long nostril, okay? And meaning that, just like the dragon got a long, elongated face. And you understand what I'm saying? So, a lot of translators understanding what it meant, they didn't understand what place that terminology had in reflecting on Yahweh. So they took it out. You see, but when you add it in there, you will see, if you go to we in chapter 30, Deuteronomy 32, 22, it says, "For fire is kindled in my nostrils." This is God talking, this is Yahweh talking here. "For a fire is kindled in my nostril, and burneth unto the depths of the netherworld, and devoureth the earth with her produce, and set ablaze the foundations of the mountains." You see? And so when we understand this, and it's not the only, because that word that represents the elongated face or nose, really the nose, because it's speaking of the nostril. It was depicted, over seven, I believe it was 7 times or 9 times in reference to Yahweh. So it wasn't just, I got 2. Now this is Psalm chapter, wait a minute, let me put this in. This is Psalms chapter 18 that deals with it. And in this instance, it's verse 9. Now, this one you might can find in your King James if you look. Okay, if you look, you might can find it in your King James, where it says smoke. Wait a minute, matter of fact, I got it. Let me take that out of here so y'all can see that, because you can't even see it. Now, even though it's small, it's right down there at the bottom. You see, right down there at the bottom, you see smoke rolls up in his nostrils and fire out of his mouth. You see, and fire did devour. Coals flame forth from him. You see, this is a dragon. Smoke arose up in his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth did devour. Okay, and so when I show family this, you see, and I had no problem. Let me put it in there. Let me put it in there for you so you can see it. When it says fire, coming forth from, a row, a fire is kindled in my nostrils. You see? And so that's the reflection of a dragon. In an ancient world, dragons was looked at as creator deities. That's the truth. You see? And so when you talk about, when we start talking about seraphim, you see, and you start talking about fiery serpents. You see, now the thing is, you got to understand here, that that the serpent is the sacred zoo type for the sun god Ra, and also is the sacred zoo type for the African race. You understand what I'm saying? Which are nothing more than the sons and daughters of Almighty God Ra. You see, we are the Saras and the daughters of Ra. You see, and so the serpent, is a reflection of who we are, and it's symbolic that if we are connected to our black divinity and we're mastering our black divinity, then we are immortal. You see what I'm saying? And so the serpent is a reflection of immortality. You see what I'm saying? And so you see here, we're looking at the hierarchy of the angels, and you see all the way at the top, you see the seraphim, the fiery serpents. You see, as you see the cherubims, you see cherubims, and you see the thrones, and then the second hierarchy, you see the dominations or lordships, the virtues or strongholds, powers or authorities, principalities or rulers, and then you see archangels and angels at the bottom. Then you got personal guardian angels. And so when we talk about the fiery serpents, you talk about Numbers 21. You can read it 4 through 9, and this is when the Israelites disrespected God Yahweh, and he put them snakes on their ass. You understand what I'm saying? And bit them up. A lot of them died because they disrespected. You see, and the only way that they could be healed, Moses had to put the serpent, and God commanded him, say, put the serpent on the pole. And this was the only godly ordained idol, because this is an idol. And he said, don't make idols, but that's exactly what this is. And so he put a serpent up on the pole. And the thing is, see, a lot of people don't understand. Now, this is still a seraph. You see a fiery serpent. And so this is what it is. Now, they called it the Nehushtan. You see, I believe that was the term that they used to denote. Make sure that's what it was. Let me make sure that's what it was. I had it right up top. But that's all right. That's all right. Let me see. Because I want to be able to pronounce this correctly. But I believe it was Nehushtan. Matter of fact, I could just bring it up. Let me just bring it up. Let me just bring it up. There it is. Nehushtan. Nehushtan. Yeah, that's right. Nehushtan. Okay, and so that was what they call the bronze, or the brazen serpent. You see, but it should be the blazing serpent. And so they trying to get away from the fact that it was, because you're gonna connect one with the other. You see, you're gonna connect one with the other, and they don't want that, because now you're unveiling more than what they ever wanted you to unveil. And so once you get past the snake and understand that it's just a zoo type of African people, it's going to be a greater understanding. So the fiery serpent is also the dragon. You see, when you see here, you see, and I'm going to show you where, in the medieval period, they depicted, even though you see that serpent up there on the pole, they depicted it as a dragon. That's exactly what they depicted it as. Matter of fact, let me take you straight to it. Let me take you in, and when you see these things, I was shocked myself. I was shocked. I would say, damn, they doing it like this. But if nobody show you, you wouldn't know. Now this right here is showing in the medieval period. You see them worshiping. You see the dragon is up on the pole, and they down on their knees and they worshiping. You see. Okay, this is you see here, but here they by them understanding that it's fiery serpent, that is in many instances to be taken as the dragon. You see what I'm saying? As the dragon. So when you go into the medieval period, you see him with the dragon up on the pole. Now here you see him right here. And of course we can see it ain't nothing but the one from ancient Egypt. Let's be 100. Okay, let's be 100. Okay, so when you go back here, you see and you put it in there, and you see him in there worshiping. You see Moses with you see Moses with the horns on his head. You can see him right there. He got the horns on his head, and and so right here we understand what that is. And so when you see the winged serpent, you see the sun disk above his head, that's the fiery serpent. That's the serpent of Almighty Ra. You understand the sun god, symbolic of him, and later on these, became the symbols of the caduceus of medicine. And this is where you get the brazen serpent. The same venom that can kill you can heal you. And so it was looked at as a symbol of healing. And so that later on was, is the same uniqueness with the caduceus and the two serpents wrapped around the pole of the caduceus. You see, and so when you come and you look here and you see, that you got the king cobra on the Uraeus crown of Pharaoh, and it's sitting right there on the pioneer. And I went over the fact that it's symbolic of the solar energy, the divine solar energy coming down from heaven, sitting on the seat of the soul, the pineal gland. You understand? And the pineal gland as a portal, as a doorway, you understand, to our spiritual consciousness, to our soul, and the union between the cosmos and us as African people, is the production of melanin, which is the divine conductor that takes the messages of the universe throughout our being. You understand what I'm saying? Unlocking, great mysteries within our own DNA, and building up a spiritual armor for our people. You understand? Because as we build with the cosmos, the doors of all types of mysteries will unlock. You see, and a lot of them are within us. And just like the pineal gland is only one portal, even though it is a very magnificent and probably the most powerful portal that we have, but there's also other portals that we have possession of that we can also, magnify and use to our benefit. Once we learn, the importance of these doorways and these portals, and so they're gonna keep us disconnected. And so, Isaiah uses the word seraph for serpent. You understand what I'm saying? Which can be either a natural venomous snake or a spiritual being. You see? And so when you see, here you see our Set. In many instances, the serpents that you see in ancient Egypt, if it's not specified as a male, is almost, to be mandatorily adopted as a goddess. You see, and so these is the Seraphim. You see that they talking about in Judaism and Christianity. These are the Seraphim. These are the highest ranking angels in the Christian order, and the fifth highest ranking in the Judaic order. You see? And so, they'll show them here. But, again, they rarely show the serpentine aspect, because they didn't talk about the dragon at the end of Revelations. you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, they worship the dragon, Yahweh the dragon. You see what I'm saying? They talk about how, the serpent in the garden led people, led old Adam and Eve astray. And so, in many instances, it's looked at as evil, but at the same time, that's a misdirection to keep you from truly understanding what is the sacred science of the serpent. Not just any serpent, the king cobra. These are not just any type of serpents. These are serpents of royalty. They ain't just no little worm slithering around on the damn ground. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be clear about this. And so again, these are and it said that the seraphim has 6 wings. You see, it has 6 wings, 2 that could cover the face, 2 that could cover the feet, 2 that could fly. You see what I'm saying? And so many instances when you see, now here you seeing what, and so I guess if they never really, appear to people, without being covered in that manner. You see, they never appear. Now here you see God best, and you can see he got 4, he got 4 wings. And so you start to see, how it is, having more than one wing. We had deities that also, I couldn't find it, but I will find it, that had 6 wings. You see what I'm saying? Just like when you look at Janus and had the 2 heads, but well, okay, you had one where Antawi, which had a Horus and a Set on one body, and then you had also Janus with the 3 faces, where I went to Nubia to the temple of Apetamak in Nubia, and you'll see a Apetamak on that temple in Nubia with 3 heads. You see one for the past, one for the present, and one for the future. And then you had the 4 heads. Okay, you see Janus with the 4 heads. Okay, well, that's the 4 sons of Horus. But yet I did find a Khnum with 4 heads. There was a deity that was an archetype of Khnum, the ram god, and it had 4 heads. The ram had 4 heads. So for every type, and with the 4 heads, you're talking about the equinoxes and the solstices, you're talking about the cardinal points, and you're talking about the seasons. You see what I'm saying? With the 3 heads, you're talking about the past, the future, and the present. With the 2 heads, you're talking about the future, the past, and the future. You see what I'm saying? So in all respects, you see what I'm saying? We got a deity for all of that. You see, we have a deity for all of that. Now, when you see, also with, when you go to the tomb of Tutankhamun and you go to his sarcophagus, but more so them coffins that the sarcophagus was in, because on the 4 corners of all those, them coffins, you know what I'm saying, what I believe what they call them. But anyway, you'll see the 4 goddesses on each cardinal point, on each corner, and their wings would be, they would be touching. You see what I'm saying? So again, we have to understand that you have a zoomorphic form and you have an anthropomorphic form of a lot of these gods. And so when you start talking about the 6 wings and whatnot, you're talking about the sacred goddesses. You understand, from ancient Egypt. You're talking about what they took to and put it on the so-called Ark of Covenant. You see what I'm saying? But in ancient Egypt, because of the 4 corners of the coffin representing the cardinal points, they put a goddess on each corner with all the wings touching. You understand, from side to side. Beautiful. You see what I'm saying? Showing a protect, just like the mother bird, and put their protective wings over, they children. And so this is a respect of the guardian, the goddesses being guardian angels, wrapping their wings around the soul of the deceased king and carry him off, you see, and make sure that he gets into the afterlife and protect him. You understand? And protect the queen and the royalty until, they get to the gate. and let Anubis guide them in, you know what I'm saying? And so a lot of this is also celestial too. You'll see these stories play out in the constellations. You see, because when you go on through the Milky Way and you get to the gate is also in the southern hemisphere, because Anubis is the dog star right there before Isis and before Osiris, the star. And I believe Sirius was sacred to both Isis and Anubis, because it was called the dog star, you see. And so it was sacred to both of them, but he's the protector, you see, and he was the protector that guarded the gate, and so if it was okay for the by the Holy Mother and the Holy Father for you to come in, you could come in, you see. But if not, then you had Anubis there, the guardian, and also Orion being the hunter and Anubis being the dog. Orion is Osiris, and so he's also the hunter. And so Anubis in that instance plays the guard dog. He plays the hunter also. You see, they're on the hunt for the African souls. You understand, that's coming through. You see, and so we come down here, and also another thing when you start talking about the serpentine worship is that even when you talk about the shofar, which is the ram, now you seeing that there's two symbolism in the ram horn, because the ram is also got the serpentine curvy horns on his head. You see what I'm saying? So when you see him blowing this horn, it almost looks like he got a damn snake, you see, in his mouth. You see, that's exactly what it looked like. And so in that instance, that is a secretive form of serpent worship, you see, which come right out of Egypt. You understand? Come right out of Egypt. There's no doubt about it. With the ram of Ra. Matter of fact, do I got it in there? I should, but I don't. It's probably down in there so far. And so now, as you can see, and I showed this one yesterday. So you can see now, and this right here is on the crown of the king. Now this is the crown of Upper Egypt. This is the crown that's worn by Osiris. And as you can see, the serpent is seen coming down from heaven, even on the war crown. You see, even on the war crown, you can see that the serpent is coming down from heaven. And so when you understand that it's solar, is solar energy, it's solar divinity. You see, and when you see in science, you always see that the energy of the sun is depicted in waves. You see, it's always depicted in waves. And so once you understand that serpentine, you see, and so when you look at the Pharaoh, you see that the serpent is coming down from heaven, and it comes down and it sit right there on the seat of the soul, which is the pineal gland. That's where it sit, and from, and that is a symbol of a portal, you see, from this plane and the cosmic plane. And so it's through this portal that the Almighty, the Creator, will conversate with his sons and his daughters. You see what I'm saying? And in that conversation, a blessing will arise in the form of melanin. And in that melanin being a conductor that will take what we call messages from the cosmos throughout the body. You see, in whatever necessary area of the body where that message is to be sent, the brain will transmit that message to that area of the body. It could be healing. It could be a form of defense, bodily defense. It could be a message of detox and purge of certain poisons in the body. You understand what I'm saying? Because the body understands what is going through in this planet, and it'll speak out to the cosmos for a healing. You don't believe it, but it does happen. You know what I'm saying? And it will send down whatever necessary. You have to reboot. You see what I'm saying? The body necessarily has to reboot based on all the poison that's in the world today. You see what I'm saying? Even the damn earth is doing it. You see where it'll have all type of storms and shit to detox from the poisons that's on the goddamn planet. You see what I'm saying? And the cosmos will send down the necessary information to balance this shit out, because if it don't, we would have been gone long time ago. You see what I'm saying? We would have been gone long time. And so creation is very powerful. It has a program to defend itself, as best as it can. And it will be some that, won't make it. But for the most part, after that, the rest of the family will, they would have been built up defense against it. But don't think it's coming out of the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? It's coming out the atmosphere too. Because if it's something that's been created, you understand what I'm saying, and by man, and it's not been created by the cosmos. See, the cosmos, anything that's unnatural, the cosmos gonna try to deal with it. Period. You understand what I'm saying? It's gonna say, that shit right there is unnatural, and it's gonna try to deal with it. Now it might get on you for a minute at at the beginning of its conception, but once it stay out there in the cosmos long enough, the cosmos gonna build up all type of antibodies against that thing. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why, goddamn it, they keep you coming. We got a new one. Keep you coming. Got a new one. Keep you coming. Got a new one. Keep you coming. Got a new one. Come on and get it. You see when down, well, goddamn it, we didn't took 12, nigga, here come 13. You see, because, they got to keep coming. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually, the cosmos going to build up defenses against that. You see, it's going to build up defenses against that. And so you have to understand, you got to keep your mind to the cosmos. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got to get back. We got to get back in unison and with the cosmos. And so you see here, you see that, this science, is and people think but we see that the greatest civilizations all of the ancient world, they were in tune. They were in tune. This ain't just nothing, they knew what it was. And you see, and it's reflected in the great monuments. You see, not to say, it's all about just it just showed that they were profound on all levels. They weren't just building great megalith. They were profound. You understand what I'm saying? In the divinity, you understand, building with the ancestors. You understand, on levels that, been lost to most of humanity if they ever knew that it was possible to communicate like that. You see motherfucking shows today talking after the fucking fact. You understand what I'm saying? But they still haven't made the connection. You can watch all the ancient aliens and shit and all that, ancient architects and all these motherfuckers is hypothetical and everything that they talking about. God damn it. When they ancestors was here, they was in caves. They didn't have, and so they want to come thousands of years later, and they want to, create these, these theories, these great theories of what it is. If you was not there, you don't know what it is. You see, that's what we got to understand. If you wasn't there, you don't know what it is. And then a lot of it is in our DNA. We are when you talk about the medunetta on the wall, we is the medunetta. Shit, what the hell you talking? We the medunetta. You understand what I'm saying? That's why they go over there scraping that shit off the wall, because it means something to you. It don't mean shit to them, because they know they'll have no opportunity to know what it is unless you tell them. And everybody can't tell them, only those that's connected. You understand what I'm saying? Only those that been trained, you understand, to know what it is will ever know it. You see what I'm saying? And not only being trained, you have to have the mechanism to be trained. You see, you can't just teach nobody nothing. That's just like teaching a vampire. You know what I'm saying? The divinity of the sun. You can't do that. You know, that motherfucker don't even want to be down because they know what it takes. Yeah, and they don't have that, so they have to get it from you. And they only want a few of you here. You understand? They're gonna try to wipe out as many of you Africans and just keep enough where they can keep doing some translations and shit as much as they can, you know, watching you and observing you because they know by watching you the living metal netter. You see, you can look up on the walls and it's because it is records of millions of years, you the living metal. So if you had to take it off the wall and see it in you know, in living motion, you watch African people, you see the metal netter in what we do, how we speak, how we sing, how we rap, how we do all the things, how we do our hair, how we wear our clothes, how we dance, and all of that. We the living metal now. So they keep their eye on us. You see what I'm saying? That's how they know just the little bit that they think they know by watching us. You understand? They don't know nothing about what's on them walls. They wouldn't even know where to start. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even know where to start. So if you thinking that you up there reading some damn metal, now you's a fool. Ain't no goddamn Champellion and y'all niggas still talking about some Champellion. Man, y'all can throw that shit in the garbage. You understand what I'm saying? If y'all don't quit looking for these Seraphises and shit, you know, Champellion ain't nothing but Serapis. Another Christ figure. You understand? Another white Christ. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand that the Seraphim, the African, because next time I'm going to show you the solar plexus. In ancient Egypt, they show the sun inside of the soul, you know, of the individual. They show the sun, but long before any Hindu, any of that, they show the sun inside of the body. And then you see even in the you see Newt, and you see the sun inside of her body, and then you see the little Horus inside of the sun. You see what I'm saying? To show you that you is our ancestors saw us as the actual living representation of the sun on earth. We are direct from the divine, directly from the lineage of the sun. That's how they looked at African people, directly from the lineage of the sun. And you have to know that this is not you know, something that we've made up. Is actuality. And so that's a divine prophecy blueprint that been laid out about our people. So that's when we talk about the phoenix and rising from the ashes. You see what I'm saying? Every 500 years, you know, there would be, you know, a grand, you know, a global consciousness, Christ consciousness that will come upon the globe. And this is the rising of the phoenix. Now, you can have one that come with the Christ consciousness as an individual. But when you talk about the rising of the phoenix and you talk about the return of the dragon, you understand, you're talking about an age. You're talking about where the consciousness on the globe would rise up. This is the rising of the phoenix. You see that, you know, and so that we are immortal. You see what I'm saying? The phoenix is immortal. The dragon is immortal. You see, full of wisdom, full of, you know, sacred wisdom. You understand? Love of treasures. You see, that's us. That's who we are. You know what I'm saying? And so when you go down and you look at all our kings and queens, that's all you find is treasures. You go down there, you can't even find their ass, letting on some treasures. You see what I'm saying? You ain't gonna find no tomb. You can't find nothing. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why one of the things that they love going, they wasn't hunting for no knowledge. They was hoping that they could crack some of them tombs open and find the wealth. That's what they was over there, you know. They didn't have, you know, they was just throwing, you know, desecrating the bodies. Many of them bodies was left. You talking about that they was over there, you know, doing some scientific. They wasn't doing no scientific work. They was over there destroying the bodies, digging for gold, digging for any little trinkets that they could find, desecrating, and the bodies was over there, have been desecrated over and over and over and over. They weren't over there looking for no science or nothing like that. They were tomb robbers. They were grave robbers. They was over there looking for fortunes. You see? And so we have to understand today what you see over there is Disneyland. You see where they didn't set up all the, to make it and get money. You understand what I'm saying? But them same Arabs that over there getting paid today, off, little ticket sales to go see our people was the same ones that let the British, let the French, and go in there and steal and just take all the artifacts. So if the thing is what we have to understand, and I'm coming back tomorrow, I'm gonna tighten things up. And you see a lot of people, and I see niggas out here, they saying that, that the ancient Egyptians wasn't Africans and shit and this, that, and they look at the Arab today. The Arab, today is nothing but what they call them. This motherfucker got on what they call God damn, it'll come to me. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have no concept that they was an ancient Egyptian. You see what I'm saying? They had no concept at that time. They're not ancient Egyptians, but today they want to, they want to play this role that they are the ancient Egyptians, this, that, and the third. If they at any given time thought that they was the ancient Egyptians, they wouldn't have never let the British or the French or the Europeans take all them artifacts up out of ancient Egypt, because they was on watch. They were still the rulers at the time that the British came in, that the French came in. They was on watch. They was giving out permits for them people to take all that. All you had to do was pay them, and they make sure that they, make it a hefty amount to get a permit. You understand? They're gonna get paid. And so they was giving all them, you had to go to the Pasha. Ishmael was one of those Pashas. Even Muhammad Ali, the same who Elijah Muhammad named Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, he named him after one of them damn Arabs that was was ruler of ancient Egypt, that allowed the Europeans to come in there along with Ishmael Pasha and a lot of them other Pashas. That was their way of getting paid. It wasn't no tourism at that time or nothing. It was thievery. And so, the Europeans was giving them all type of paper to go over there and dig and take whatever and they would let them take whatever they want. And so, so they didn't see that shit. I mean, I ain't saying they didn't see any of the artifacts that's in ancient Egypt as being a part of their cultural lineage. They did not. And you understand what I'm saying? Because why, if you did, you was the most ignorant, which I already believe anyway, ignorant of any people that ever existed on earth, to allow another man to come in there and plunder the greatness of your ancestors, the way that you allowed the British, the French, and the Germans and the Italians to do ancient Egypt the way that they did it. You see, and so that right there show you right there that this is all falsified, this is all phony, and you got to look past it. And you got to go and look at the prophecies of ancient Egypt, that many of those prophecies been co-opted by the religions of today, and you will see that the Seraphim, which is the highest ranking order of the archangels, is nothing other than when we say fiery serpents, representing the African race. You have to understand those serpents, those which you can see many times the Pharaoh would be placed on the serpent to show you that that's who he is. And because you've been told that the serpent means something evil, you don't want to be a part of that. But when you understand that it is a divine entity, you see what I'm saying? It is a divine entity that was always looked at as a symbol of immortality, of immortal wisdom, and sacred science of the universe. When you get that true understanding of what it is, you will be more likely to accept it. You understand, as a part of your ancestral lineage. You see what I'm saying? And they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to know you immortal. They don't want you to know that you the chose. They don't want you to know that, that all this that been wrote throughout all the ancient world been written as a prophecy of your rise back into, you understand what I'm saying, the highest, the highest levels of cosmic rule. They don't want you to understand, but it happened before and it'll happen again. You see, there's nothing new under the sun. You understand what you see before will happen again, and what you see today, you understand, it may happen. We may fall from grace again. Hopefully we won't. But it's a cycle. It's a divine cycle. And as we are down today, we're going to rise up tomorrow. It's in the prophecy. You see what I'm saying? Our people will become, they become tired of lagging behind. They're going to become tired. You see what I'm saying? And the conscience is going to be a click. And our rise will be soon. You understand? Our rise will be soon. Just stay to your research, stay to your divinity, and stay connecting with the ancestors and moving in a positive direction. This is the General Sara Suten Seti. Thank you for being here tonight. This is the General Sara Suten Seti said, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.